Toyota Insider of the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Melissa McFerrin. And Coach, since last week, since we talked to Danny, you guys have gone 1-1. A big win on the road at a Big Ten school in Illinois and on a disappointing loss on Sunday to Kansas. But let's start off with Illinois. You went up there. It was a noon game, so you didn't have to wait around the hotel. Tons of kids, about 1,800 screaming kids, and your team really came out firing, led by Brianna Porter.
Absolutely. And Brianna Porter had a really, really fabulous game for us. A presence in the paint. We've been waiting for her to be that player perhaps, but I also just really felt like as a team overall we played very well. We got Brewater Cochran in the paint. She went to the free throw line. Taylor Williams had a good night. Cheyenne Creighton had a good night. So what we really had was a complete team effort, which is going to have to be our MO this year.
The team looked in control the whole game. You never allowed Illinois to grab the lead. They tied it late in the first quarter at 16-all, then 18-all. They never were able to get it tied again. Held them to several 2 to 3 minute scoring droughts in that game and built up your lead in that second half by as many as 18.
Our defense has been pretty sound for us. You know that we've kept the scores low. That's going to be important for us this year. I think one of the other things that was really critical in that game when they were putting on their buzz defense to try to make a run at us, that's really when Brianna Porter really stepped up. Cheyenne Creighton did a nice job in the middle of their press, as did Taylor Williams. And when they tried to make their run with their pressure, we were really able to counter and get easy buckets and kind of use their pressure against them.
And it's always nice to get a win over one of the P5 teams. Nice win over Illinois on the road to get it as well.
It was, and we've had very, very close games with them throughout the entire series. We lost close to them 2 years ago at their place. Really, we missed a couple free throws late and had a chance, had a game-winning shot. Beat them here at our place last year. Against a very good team. This year they're a little bit of a different team. They're going to line up with some shooters, and we were concerned about that, but we were able to keep them off balance a little bit with some pressure, but also with some zone, and it felt really nice to get a win on the road.
I don't know, as complete as that game was, it was a frustrating afternoon on Sunday. It's a game that started out both teams trying to find a spark, it looked like. Then the little altercation, had some players ejected, one for Memphis, I believe it was 8 for Candace total. They made a little adjustment, went to a 2-3. They kind of elevated themselves after that.
They did, and it started off as a fairly benign scuffle for the basketball and turned into something much bigger than that. Very unfortunate. I think it was a 16-15 game when that happened, and it really kind of changed the complexity of the game, put a lot of pressure on our youth and our inexperience. When Brewater Cochran went out of the game and Bria Elmore took our ball handlers out of the game and our decision makers, so we had to rely a lot on Taylor Barnes, and that's a lot to ask a freshman to do. Also, Loisha Moore still coming back, wasn't really comfortable in that game. So we had Taylor Williams at the point. Again, just not a dramatic situation. It sounds dramatic when they had 8 players go out, but it really was not much more than a skirmish that a few people left the bench. But nonetheless, it put us in a situation where we really had to rely on a lot of inexperience in our ball handling and decision-making position. So very much a disappointing afternoon, because that's a game that we felt like was very much a winnable game for us if we had our entire team in place. So they got us with that 2-3 zone. They played it wide. They forced us to make some decisions. I thought we missed some passing opportunities into the post where we really could have attacked the middle of their zone. We ended up taking some bad shots against their wide 2-3 zone. So it gives us great video. We're going to play some teams in the future that are probably going to play a wide 2-3 zone. So as disappointing as it was, we've got to take it for what it was. We lost it. We've got to learn from that experience and take it on the road with us this weekend.
And that experience wasn't a lack of hustle or effort. It was you had to move some people, and so did Candace, to be fair. Move some people maybe a little bit out of their natural position, rely on some people. And inexperience, you're just not patient enough to work to the 2-3 zone, just trying to do maybe just too much.
That's right. And they played it in a way where they were icing ball screens and playing it really wide and playing passing lanes as opposed to playing a standard 2-3 zone. And we just simply didn't have enough experience against that to see the openings. I thought we could have gotten a little bit more in transition than what we did. And But like I said, nonetheless, we've got to take it for what it was. We dropped that game and disappointed that we did. But we've got to take those lessons and move forward.
Well, you head on the road this weekend. You'll be out at the University of Nevada, Reno's the Nugget Classic. You're going to face a team that you've seen a couple times in postseason play in the WNIT a few years ago. You'll face Arkansas on Friday evening.
We will face Arkansas, and that's another team that we have an opportunity to come away with a win. We will be without Bria Wilder-Cochran, so that's going to be a little bit more challenging because we're going to have some of those same decision-making issues. They're a pressing team, so that's going to put a lot of pressure on Taylor Barnes again, maybe even Taylor Williams. Bria Elmore will be back, so we'll have to rely upon her for some ball handling. I don't know that Arkansas is calling this version of their women's basketball team 40 minutes of hell, but it's got some of those same tendencies, so they're going to, in all likelihood, try to extend the floor, try to extend their pressure against us. So it'll be another great test for us.
Then Saturday, depending on you win or lose, and the other side of the bracket, it's either going to be Navy or the host team, Nevada Reno. So you'll either see a team that's kind of familiar with American because they're a football member or Navy, or you get to see a team that that's probably the only time you get a chance to play them.
Absolutely. I don't know a lot about Reno yet. We're focusing on Arkansas at the moment. I do know a little bit about Navy, not so much because they are in the American football-wise, but they were Patriot League, so I've got some familiarity with them. They've got a wonderful coach. Jane Albright at Reno has had a lot of success out there as well. So it's going to be a great tournament, a great basketball tournament. Going to force us to adjust very, very quickly. We'll have our full team back when we go against either Reno or Nevada, and we'll be looking to try to settle in and come away with a couple wins. But again, it's gonna be a game where we're gonna have to make some adjustments.
All right, sounds good. Best of luck out in Reno, Coach.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's head coach Melissa McFerrin. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Tiger Network.